Welcome to the Sunday Night Talk, the show where we answer the questions: were the games we watched on Sunday the greatest part of our day? A distraction from our family? Or a way to relive our childhoods? Have you ever thought, why don't they play football like they used to? Can you remember waiting all week just to watch one matchup? Do you remember rushing home to watch SportsCenter? Do you even remember what SportsCenter is? If you can answer yes to those questions, this is the show for you. I am your host, Patrick Ramirez, and along with me is my longtime friend, Omar Carmona. Each week, we watch as many games as we can to see what made us laugh, cry, and genuinely drove us absolutely crazy. And we do that by giving out weekly awards. If you have award winners yourself, you can drop a comment under the video. Thank you so much for listening, and please hit the subscribe button and share with a friend. It's how our little show grows. And if you like what you see, please take a look at my other shows on the channel. There's stand-up comedy, the movie series, and my one-on-one interviews. Now, on to the Sunday Night Talk. Welcome back, everybody. It is the Sunday Night Talk for Week 10. I am recording this at 10:32 Central Time. Just wrapped up Sunday Night Football, Pittsburgh Steelers at the Los Angeles Chargers. Merciful, is that a word? Pitifully, thankfully, the game came to an end. I think going back and rewatching this, I think this game will probably be over way earlier than we thought it was. But wow, did that Sunday night game turn out ugly? And I have big questions going forward. We're going to talk about it. All right, this week, Week 10, it is just me on the Sunday Night Talk Show this week. If you're a returning listener, you know I usually have a co-host on this show. But this week, my co-host, Omar Carmona, is on location. He went to Sunday Night Football, Chargers, Steelers, and he gave me a few text reports that we're going to go over, a couple videos, and then we're going to catch up with him later in the week and get his report on this bummer of a game. I was seriously bummed watching this game, watching Aaron Rodgers completely flutter out there. All right, I'm going to start and put this show on a better mood to start things off because it was an interesting Week 10. Headlines for Week 10. What do we got? Headlines I have is New England is now tested and proven. And also, headline for Sunday Night Football, Pittsburgh may be in trouble. I think this was a worse loss for Pittsburgh than it was a good win for the LA Chargers. Speaking of New England, we got the test we needed to see if this team was for real. Tampa Bay, not their best game yet, a really good game by them. We have a lot of things to now consider with New England being 2 games up in the division and owning the tiebreaker over Buffalo, who had one of the weirdest results of the day as well. A lot happened, not to mention the season started on Thursday with my now fully drowning Las Vegas Raiders went into Denver and lost 10-7. Special teams coach of the Raiders was fired the next day. Geno Smith, I think, was on one leg at one point during that game. He had a heat wrap on the sideline on his leg, and I thought, oh, he's not going to finish this game. Oh, he went back in and proceeded to throw more incompletes and almost get his head blown off the rest of the game. The Raiders are rebuilding. They did not look good at all in this game. And the weird thing is they actually started with an opening drive touchdown, and then they had a few good plays that were called back due to penalties, which could have made the game more interesting. On the flip side, I don't think the Broncos are good. Bo Nix had another really shaky game. They struggle on offense. The fact that the Raiders are so inept on their offense is the only reason they were winning this game. They won 10-7. The Raiders couldn't even get in position to kick a tying field goal, and it's a mess down in Las Vegas. So that is the status going into Week 10. More so, that speaks more to my status as an NFL fan. So Week 10, by now we know all the winners and losers of the week. So I did a quick categorizing of teams in the NFL. These are teams that I think we're going to talk about later in the season. They're going to be in our lives. They're going to be the heavy hitters. They're going to be the cast members of the rest of this NFL season. And I grouped it into 3 categories. Those categories pertain to the playoffs coming up. See what you think about this. My categories are the Blue Chippers, the Maids of Honor, and the Troublemakers. Let me go through the Blue Chippers right now. My Blue Chippers are Indianapolis, Seattle, and the LA Rams. These are the teams that are the heads of state of the league. They've shown the most. They have the most. They're the most complete teams. They've won on the road. They've won at home. They've won tough games. Their losses are justifiable in the sense we know how they lost. We know how they could have won that game. And they have players that can win important games. They're well coached. So the most complete. And I have, like I said, Indianapolis, who I think you'd say could say struggled a bit today, but we've seen their best, and their best could beat any team in the league. Seattle has been on cruise control the last couple weeks. They completely dismantled Arizona today. Sam Darnold has kept up his high performance, which a lot of people were arguing, it's going to be a sophomore slump for Sam Darnold. It was a fluke last year in Minnesota, which we still need to see postseason Sam Darnold. But right now, Seattle's unbelievable, especially on defense today. And then lastly, the LA Rams, my Blue Chippers. Complete offensive grasp today of the 49ers. 49ers weren't even that bad in this game. And yet every type of scheme the Niners tried to throw at Matt Stafford and the Rams on offense, completely handled. Whether it be blitz pickup. There was a point where Stafford did a quick snap to get the Niners in a back pedal, the linebackers that is. And Stafford looks surprisingly mobile in this pocket. He's 37 years old. Those are my Blue Chippers. Those are our best teams in the league. Now, the Maids of Honor. What are the Maids of Honor? I think these are the teams waiting in the wings. I think these are the teams right there on that second step that could catch fire and really, really make a run in these playoffs. But for some reason or another, I'm not willing to put in my heads of state, in my Blue Chippers of the NFL. Those teams are Tampa Bay, New England, Kansas City, Philadelphia. Tampa Bay easily could have been in the Blue Chippers today if it wasn't for today's loss at home. I thought this was Baker's biggest struggle of the season. He looked confused. He looked antsy in the pocket as well. Tough loss. I think they'll learn something from it. I wouldn't be surprised if we just watched our Super Bowl, New England and Tampa Bay today. If the ball bounces a couple of different ways, these two teams could very well be in the Super Bowl. Going on to New England, the only reason they're not in the Blue Chippers is because they're so young. Drake May is so young. It's Vrabel's first year head coaching these Patriots. We just don't know what adversity looks like on this team yet. Sometimes teams get lightning in a bottle with new coach, new quarterback, and they're just awesome. But we just don't know, and I'm not ready to make that guarantee yet on the Patriots. That being said, going after this week, I think you'd argue they're the best team in the league. Next one, Maid of Honor, KC. They have to be in there. They're off this week, so we didn't get a sample of KC, but I think they're coming along just like every season they do in the later part of the season. And then lastly, Maid of Honor, Philadelphia. They play tomorrow. Philadelphia just seems like one of the teams that the only people rooting for Philadelphia is Philadelphia. No one seems to really like their style of play. Everybody's tired of the tush-push. Everybody knows the highs of Jalen Hurts. Everybody knows the lows of Jalen Hurts as well. And I don't think anybody wants to see this team repeat. The Super Bowl was not boring, but it was predictable. They run the ball. When they need to, they pass the ball. And when they need 3 yards, they do the tush-push. And we all hate the tush-push. So after tomorrow, I think we'll have a better understanding of Philly, but I don't have them in the blue chip. I don't have them as our top 3 teams in the NFL. I think they're beatable. I think Jalen Hurts is not capable of putting this team on his shoulders. It has to be a complete team effort if it's going to be Philadelphia. Last category of potential playoff teams, the troublemakers. These are teams that could very well make the playoffs, but more so ruin a season for someone else, whether that means week 18, wild card weekend, just giving a team a hard time and can ruin it for someone else. My troublemakers are Denver, Baltimore, and Green Bay. Denver's a complete troublemaker because they keep winning games, and most of us don't know why. Bo Nix is not good. He is not good, yet he's completing a pass when he needs to. The defense is carrying them in a lot of these games. They're a bit injured on defense as well, but they're going to get players back. I just don't know how Denver's winning these games, but they're winning these games. They remind me of that Denver team that one year they had Tim Tebow. We had Tebow Mania, and we just couldn't understand it. We couldn't understand why are they winning these games. I'm watching Tebow. The guy throws weird. He's not exactly hitting his marks, and yet they keep winning, and they won a playoff game that year. So I think Denver's repeating that, in that they're just going to be a hard out for someone, and whoever loses to him is going to sit in the locker room or is going to sit at home next week watching Denver play, and they're going to say, we lost to this team? How do we lose to this team? Troublemakers, these Denver Broncos. I did like how they wore their throwback uniforms 2 weeks in a row, though. Next troublemaker, Baltimore. Baltimore has won 3 straight. Lamar is back. He's energized. Somehow Baltimore looks like one of the best teams in the league, and yet they've won all of 4 games this year. But you go on a run in the second half of the season, you're right back in this. Baltimore is definitely a troublemaker in a division that is maybe up for grabs as well. Baltimore could ease into this division lead. I am very, very curious about watching Baltimore. Last troublemaker, Green Bay. Green Bay has a low floor and a high ceiling. We went in the span of 2 weeks to talking about Green Bay being the most complete team to Green Bay just being completely inept on offense. They play tomorrow, and we get to see what they look like. But that being said, when Green Bay's on, they're really good. And that's why they're a troublemaker. Those are my breakdowns for Week 10 teams that I think are going to be the lead cast members in the second half of our NFL season. So, like I said, just me today. So let's go through the games. My thoughts. I watched them all. I pretty much soloed all Sunday by myself, made food, did some laundry folding during games. I had a couple TVs going with different games up. It's always a bit of a challenge or a bit of a decision when it comes to which games get to be on the screen, which games get to be in the Foursquare, which games get the volume, which games I just kind of peek at. Like, I had Jacksonville, Houston on the Foursquare. I don't think I put the volume on that game once. I just had it peeking at it, and Jacksonville was up big at the beginning, and I said, okay, there's no reason to listen to this game. So I never turned the volume up on it. All of a sudden, the game is super close, and Houston's going in for the win. I'm like, what the heck's going on here? Click it, put it on. I think I watched all of 30 seconds of it with the volume up. So let's talk the games. Early games first. We're in November. It's our first taste of real football weather, I guess you would say, for some of these games. Really fitting that we started the day off with Chicago, New York Giants, and a very snow flurry, overcast gray day, and we ended the night with Steelers Rams from Los Angeles, where the game started. It was still daylight. And NBC did a couple shots of guys playing volleyball on the beach without any shirts. So quite the range we had today in the NFL. But let's start with Giants. Bears. Bears win 24-20. The Bears are sneaking up. They're sneaking up. This is not their season to make a playoff run, but I think they're making some progress here. That being said, it's hard to see this progress at times. On the flip side, Jackson Dart and New York Giants are a fun team. Brian Daboll is officially week to week as far as having his job. And I've renamed Jackson Dart Heart Attack Dart. He is good for 1 great pass and then 2 just absolute pull your hair out passes where you're like, oh my God. Oh, look at, he's great. He hit him on the run. And the next play, oh my God, that should have been intercepted 3 times over. So now he's Heart Attack Dart. And then the scary part is he got banged up, bonked his head, concussion protocol. In comes Russell Wilson. So this game had a wild swing. But look at Jackson Dart. It was 200 yards passing and just 2 that I saw, 2 near miss INTs. This was just in the first half, mind you. Then he goes out with concussion. Russell Wilson comes in, which it's just become, when Russell Wilson comes in, you have to watch the game. You have to see what plays they call for him. You have to see how he commands the offense. You got to see how he throws the ball. It's turns into must watch. And I've said this for years. Whenever a backup quarterback comes in, I think whatever feed you're watching should preempt your game and just be like, oh, backup quarterback alert, and then put the game in the corner so you can just see what the first couple snaps are for the quarterback. Okay, then we go to the Giants are up, and Chicago gets a touchdown on their final drive, and then their defense has to stop the New York Giants, which they do. So now Chicago gets a win. Caleb Williams looking better. Their defense looking better. They beat the Giants. So I don't want to go too crazy, but the Bears can string some wins together here with an easy schedule coming up for them. I liked it. It's a fun time to be a Bears fan because now it's not cringeworthy like it was the first couple games of the season. No one's expecting anything out of them. And Caleb Williams is really, really talented out there. He flings that ball unlike anybody else. They got a couple good receivers too. So Bears are creeping into the fun team category now for me. Moving on. How about the most confusing game of the day? Buffalo at Miami. Buffalo loses. Miami handled them pretty much all game. 30-13. Miami's up 16-0 in this game into the third when Buffalo starts to show a little sign of life. Then, Buffalo gets a pick. They're showing signs of life. Then they run this QB sneak tush push thing where Josh Allen just bolts through the line. So it's not only like a QB sneak for 1 or 2 yards. He makes it through the line and starts running for like 7 yards and then fumbles the ball. I watched the replay a bunch of times. I still don't know how he fumbled it. Just every time something happened that started a swing to Buffalo's side, they gave it right back, which makes it the most confusing game of the day. This was not very Buffalo-like. On the road in Miami, ideal conditions. Maybe that's what threw them off, is that it was still sunny in Florida in mid-November, and they didn't know what to do. They couldn't get to Tua. Miami was running really well. The funniest part about this game is every time something good would happen for Miami, Mike McDaniels, the head coach of Miami, looks totally surprised by it. He's wearing his Pitbull sunglasses, and he's kind of like, oh, that worked? Okay. Oh, we got a first down? Oh, wait. Oh, we're about to score? Huh, okay. All right, let me look at this play sheet some more. So he saves his job for, I think he's earned himself a couple of weeks here. Buffalo did something I think you could say is smart. You could say is a form of throwing in the towel. But a couple of minutes to go in this game, they just pulled Josh Allen. They're like, screw it. We saw what happened to Jaden Daniels last week. Let's get our guy out of here. I think at that point in the game, given the score, given your record, don't risk it. It has not been your day, Josh Allen. I'm going to say the coaches did the right thing on that. Pull it, put in Trubisky, get a drive in, get a series in, maybe 2. Let's go regroup. on to the next early game. Baltimore at Minnesota. I told you Baltimore was a troublemaker. They win 27-19. This was a good evaluation for, I thought, both teams on here. Can Baltimore start putting these wins together? Does Lamar have his starting quarterback status back? Is he not injured anymore? Is he completely back? How about Minnesota? Like, us still figuring out J.J. McCarthy. He went from one good quarter against the Bears 8 weeks ago to injured, benched, and he's come back. We're like, oh, yeah, that guy. Oh, yeah, all right, let's see what you got. Minnesota just turned the ball over way too much in this game. Fumbles. I wrote down 8 false start penalties. 8 false start penalties. I'm not sure how this happened, but how are you getting false starts when you're at home? Could not figure that out. There was a little bit of that going on today, Sunday night, with the Chargers Pittsburgh as well, because so many Pittsburgh fans were in the audience. But Baltimore's now won 3 straight. And I'm looking at their schedule. It's not impossible to win. I'm not going to say win out, but it wouldn't surprise me at this point. Baltimore has got to be the biggest roller coaster team, because when they started the season, we're like, hey, they're going to be good. They're going to be good. Just wait. Oh, wait, they keep losing. Oh, Baltimore should pack the season in. Lamar's injured. Who's going to play for them? What's that game they got killed in? I'm like, I don't think Baltimore can compete in this league for another week, let alone to the end of the season. And now I'm looking at them saying, like, don't know anybody play that team. Troublemaker. Next game, Cleveland at the New York Jets. Completely non-watchable. This did not make my screen. This did not make my little updates. The Jets win 27-20. Now they've won 2 in a row, but a YouTube video did pop up on my feed, and I was surprised how many great New York Jets special teams plays they have this year. Block field goals, punt returns, kick returns. Kind of surprising that the special teams is the best part of your team. I don't know about the Jets moving forward, but they could be a little bit of a troublemaker for one weekend. That's about it. They're full of confidence. I don't know who they play next week, but come on, Jets. How about a little fun storyline for the rest of the season? How about a little something to tug at our heartstrings for the rest of the season? Let's go for it. Cleveland on the other side, complete mess. I don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. I don't know who their quarterback is. And Terry Bradshaw said something. He was doing the halftime highlights showing the Cleveland game. I don't know if he meant this as a kind thing to say or an insult, but he said the Cleveland Browns quarterback, he's like, hey, you know what? I like the guy. I don't know what that means when you say that, but it didn't sound good to me. All right, next, on to the game of the early slate. Anyway, New England at Tampa Bay. New England 28, Tampa Bay 23. Huge test for both teams. I thought they both looked really good. New England's defense was much better than anything they've done this season. Chasing Baker around. And there were still plays where Baker got out of certain sacks, and still they managed to contain him. And Drake May is now the guy. The guy. New England also is gaining some momentum because they show the owner's box. And I never seen Robert Kraft like this. He had his button-down shirt on, but he had it completely tucked out. He just had the shirt out. I think Dave Portnoy is in the box with them, Patriots fan. Just gain a little momentum, a little celeb status, a little click this box, click this clip about the New England Patriots. Amazing catches. The receivers are catching balls for Drake May out there. And Drake May is now touching, he's touching elite status, I think. He's becoming the breakout star of the season here. Patriots are great. The 2 games up in the division, and they own the tiebreaker as well. Now it's just a question of, can they keep the momentum? Next game, another fun, unwatchable game. New Orleans at Carolina. If Carolina was going to be anything, anybody, anything of status this season and on, I wrote it down before the game, they have to beat New Orleans. And what do? They lose to New Orleans by 10, 17-7. So I think we can officially write off Carolina as anything this season. You can't lose in New Orleans. Certainly not at home. If you want to be anything of a contender, if you want to be a troublemaker, a bridesmaid, blue chip, and so you can't lose in New Orleans. Unbelievable. I didn't watch any of it. Next game, Jacksonville at Houston. I told you. Was not listening to a single second of this game. All of a sudden, I'm like, wait, is Houston catching up? I thought Jacksonville was up by a lot. So, also remember, we got Davis Mills in for Houston. C.J. Stroud's injured. Davis Mills is in. Jacksonville was up big. Here's the funny part, though. Let's go to the end of the game. Jacksonville is down at this point 30-29. Houston has taken the lead with a touchdown on the other end. They kick off. Jacksonville gets a decent return. Remember, Jacksonville has this kicker with a cannon of a leg. All they need is a field goal. And the announcer makes the point, if he's going to kick another 68-yard field goal, Jacksonville offense only needs 17 yards to attempt a 60-yard kick. So I'm like, this is pretty easy for most offense. Just 17 yards. There was time on the clock. They had timeouts. You just need 17 yards. Of course, Lawrence takes a sack. There was a garbage time touchdown because Lawrence fumbled it, just trying to get rid of it. But Houston keeps their season alive with this win here. I thought their defense looked really good, and the receivers were making plays. Their running was adequate. Houston is making turning the corner here. They almost made my troublemakers list. But it was an interesting game that Jacksonville actually just did more Jacksonville things. Let me go up by 20 points, and then let me allow you 26 points in the fourth quarter alone. Oh, and we won't score any points. All right, moving on, because this week we had not only an overseas game, we had a Berlin game. Atlanta at Indianapolis. Indianapolis 31, Atlanta 25 in overtime. Jonathan Taylor was the big story here, had over 200 yards. Just a strange game on the offensive side for Indianapolis, though, because they had all these yards on the ground. But Daniel Jones was sacked 7 times. He fumbled 3 times, lost 1 of them. Somehow they still managed 31 points to Atlanta's 25 in overtime. And it was weird in overtime because you toss the coin and the away team calls the coin. But since they were on a neutral field, the designated away team, I think was Indianapolis, and the referee allowed the Falcons to call it, so they had to redo the coin toss. It was an interesting game, and I actually woke up early to watch it. And it was kind of fun to watch because the field looks totally different. It was really dark. It was like, a soccer field. So it was almost like they were on some sort of huge stage of a play or opera because everything was dark but the field itself. I think Indianapolis escaped in this game here. They can't turn the ball over that many times, get sacked that many times, and expect to win. You saw it the week before when they played Pittsburgh. Kept turning the ball over. This could go south for Indianapolis if you play a good team and keep turning the ball over. But they won. They're still in my blue chips. All right, so now it's the afternoon. Now I'm cooking up something to eat for the late games. I'm kind of figuring out if it's go out status or make something at home. Ultimately, I had something at home. And I didn't want to go that far because I had this feeling Rams-Niners was going to be good. It's a good rivalry game. It's a West Coast game. Both teams are good this year. That being said, Rams defense was the story of the game in the first half. Then the offense comes on. Rams get up early. They get up like 21-0 early. And 49ers are just struggling. They can't get going on offense, but they're moving the ball. I think this was the Tom Brady game today. They're moving the ball okay. They're just not putting up points. Whatever the Niners' problem is, it's not at quarterback. Mac Jones is completely capable at the quarterback position. Kittle had his best game of the year. I think he had like 8 catches or something. And they just couldn't close the gap, though. There was a point where they're going for it on every 4th down and not getting it. So it was just like air deflated out of their balloon. Whereas if you were to kick those 2 field goals and get the 6 points, Now you're like, hey, wait, we're in this game later. But the Rams poured it on offensively at the end, 42-26. Defense was really good. Kittle was good. That's positive. But San Francisco is just so difficult to categorize because they were not competitive in this game. And yet they sort of almost weaseled their way into a one-score game with these Rams. I don't know what's going on with the Niners because they didn't make any big moves in the trades for the trade deadline this week. I don't know what the Purdy status is. They need a little boost from somewhere. I can't even say it's like, oh, they need a receiver to step up. Oh, they need someone to get healthy. I don't know what they need because I don't know if any of it's coming, to be honest. If you look at it, it's like, where are the Niners going to get better? And unless you're banking on Purdy coming off the bench and being awesome, I think they're already playing as hard as they can on the offensive side. And the defense, we already know they're so injured, and they didn't trade for anybody this week. So the Niners are a big-time question mark moving forward. It's a tough division already. I think they're going to be the odd man out this year in the playoffs. And a couple late games. Detroit at Washington. Probably the most predictable result of the day. Detroit wins big 44-22. Washington is in full regression mode. Only interesting thing about this game is Donald Trump goes to the booth in about the third quarter of this game, and they tried to let him call a play. They're like, "You want to call a play?" And he's like, "Let's see what happens." I don't know if he got what call the play meant, but it was a long segment, and they did a good job trying to tie in things to him. It's like, this is I think Jonathan Vilma was the commenter on it, and he's like, oh, he went to Miami. You know Florida, right? He's like, oh, terrific, very good, love Miami. He just did that. He's like, oh, and I won with the Saints. Drew Brees, I love Drew Brees, terrific guy, Drew Brees. He's a winner. But in true Trump fashion, it's a little bit awkward of an interview. He's interrupting a lot. He's talking over people. He's talking about stadiums he wants to build. The only interesting part about the game, it's going to be funny because if you love Trump, you're going to be like, oh, how fun, what an awesome appearance. If you hate him, you're like, what's he doing there? He's so orange under the lights. Only interesting thing about that game, Detroit won big. Detroit's consistent. I'm not willing to put a bunch of faith or money on Detroit, but they are consistent. And then lastly, Seattle absolutely killed Arizona. Whatever talk we had about Arizona last week beating Dallas, put that to bed. That's gone. That's completely gone. It's funny, we're not talking about Darnold as MVP candidate yet. It's like we need to see one more game from him and we could throw him in the mix because today it looks like he was playing a scrimmage. He was doing anything he wanted. Defense was doing anything they wanted. They were sacking Jacoby Brissett whenever they wanted. Total domination. If you went to the Seattle game, they're at home. It was just the greatest Sunday for you ever. Because your team won big. And moving forward, just I can't wait till next week. They're going to win again. This is great. It's November. So those were the games today. And then we get to Sunday night in LA, Pittsburgh at the LA Chargers, which my co-host Omar Carmona is at. I'm going to play a couple of videos he sent me from the game as well. NBC was doing a couple of fun things with promotions. They had Judge Judy at the beginning of the game. Apparently she's a Chargers fan. Picked the Chargers. Snoop Dogg went out and shook Aaron Rodgers' hand. And then the game started, and Pittsburgh completely forgot that they had to play offense. Large amount of Steelers fans at this game as well, which I was curious how that was going to throw off the game because I don't know if the Chargers have a fan base yet, but if there's any time that's going to start, it's now. The Chargers are good. Aaron Rodgers got sacked early for a safety. He had a couple passes that receivers did not catch, and Aaron Rodgers had the what I'm now officially calling Aaron Rodgers' scary eyes, where he just stares down receivers, officials. He had the scary eyes going early today. It's like, oh, DJ Metcalf dropped the ball. Oh, we got a pass into the dirt. He just threw it away. Oh, that was Aaron Rodgers wants a pass interference call. That's the scary eyes from Aaron Rodgers. He can come out at any time. So I'm still trying to figure out SoFi Stadium. And as an audience, I think we're finally starting to figure it out, what it looks like on TV, who goes to the games, away fans versus home team fans. The whole celebrity cam thing, I think, helps. You got to promote the home city in these games. So the celeb cam is a part of SoFi. And I thought Collinsworth made a good point somewhere around the third quarter of this game. He compares Justin Herbert to what Ben Roethlisberger was, primarily in the pocket. Just this big guy that you just cannot bring down like any other quarterback. And even if you're hanging off the guy, he can still put that ball about 40 yards down the field. I thought that was a good comparison of finally figuring out what Herbert actually is capable of in the pocket, on the run, arm strength-wise, and what he is on the team, whether he is a quarterback who manages the team or is he a cornerstone of the offense where everything has to go through him passing. Is he the type that can put the ball anywhere, anytime? I don't think we quite know from him yet. So that's why I thought the Roethlisberger comparison was apt. And also Herbert got hit a lot in this game. Mostly defense early. The hurdle by the running back Warren by the Steelers, I thought was their only glimmer in this game. And actually injected a little bit of life into the broadcast where Collinsworth is like, oh, look at that. Oh, that's good hurdling form. And somewhere in the third quarter, the defense of Pittsburgh just could not keep up. It was a struggle. And the offense was bad enough for Pittsburgh, but the defense just, the dam broke. And they would get to third down, and Herbert would throw the seam to McConkey. I think 5 different times he did it. He made it look easy every single time. Pittsburgh was just on their heels this whole second half of the game. They kept cutting away to Mike Tomlin's face, and his face just kept getting more and more scrunched throughout the broadcast. He was just sickened by the defense he put out there. Collinsworth had a really prolonged laugh. Not even a laugh. It's like a cackle when the Chargers kicker Cameron Dicker hit the upright. And Tirico so badly wanted to call him Cameron Doinker. He held off, but he wanted to say it, and Collinsworth knew what he was going to say too. He held off. Let's talk Rodgers, completely inaccurate in this game. The one big open receiver he had in the first half, he completely flies. I think they gave him the catch anyway. He hauled it in. But if he hit him in stride, he could have ran into the end zone for it. Rodgers was a mess today. There was a fourth down. They tried to throw to Metcalf. He was double covered. I don't know what the idea was. He should have thrown back shoulder, but he threw it forward, not a jump. Mess. Total mess. I don't know what was going on with this game. Turnover on downs multiple times in the red zone. There was one time where they were still down 15-3. It's fourth down. They're in the red zone. They go for it. They don't get it. I almost thought they should have kicked it. Make it 15-6. At least you got points. It was the start of the fourth quarter. Just get some points on the board so you walk away with something and then you go play defense. I think sometimes we go for it on fourth down too much. We just get too excited. They're like, oh, we got to get points here. We're down 15-3. That's a 12-point lead. We can't be down 2 scores. Being down 2 scores in the NFL somehow means go for it on every fourth down. I thought playing it for the field goal might have actually helped them. Chargers go down. They end up scoring. Now it's 22-3. And the route is now on. Everything was a pick. Rodgers had the pick that just bounced off the receiver's hands, and it was done. It was another one that was like, pull Rodgers. Don't risk it. Get the hell out of there. All right, that was a Sunday night. Like I said, co-host Omar Carmona is at the game. He might still be there. But let's play a couple videos of him. See, maybe you can see where he's coming from. All right, let's bring him up here.
Again soon. Let's go, Bolts.
Hey, Patrick, we're checking in. We're walking into the stadium right now. We're here at SoFi, Pittsburgh, Chargers. I'll let you know how it goes. We're going to have a great show tonight.
Okay, so here he is excited. He sounds motivated. You can see that West Coast sun is on him. He's wearing his 49ers gear. Thank God. I was worried he was turning one of these fans that just wore clothing and team stuff of whatever team he's watching. But he's back to his roots. So that we had that one. And now we get another video from him. So let's take a look here. So a little bit of a Chargers marching band there. So Chargers do have a fan base. Interesting. Okay, so now he's getting on a roll here, and I'm getting more and more videos, which is good. So let's take a look at our next one here.
I'm doing another video.
We're here at SoFi right now, getting in. There's a line to get in. It's actually moving pretty fast though, so we're happy with the pace. We'll check in later.
Okay, take a look at all those Steelers fans in line there. He's in line. He's going into the stadium. He doesn't seem like he's upset with how crowded it may be or something like that. So good mood. Very good mood there. He's going into the stadium. And now we go to our final video of the night.
I'm here at SoFi. It's 22-3, Pat. Not much of a game at this point. The Chargers are destroying the Steelers, but we're having a good time here. I'm obviously the only 49er fan here.
Okay, there he is at the game. We've got to look at his seats, his view. Really good view there near the 50. I'm seeing a good mix of Chargers jerseys and Steelers. We've got a good shot of how big the stadium actually is. So that was a good report. I'd like to know what he ate at the game, what prices were like, the fan bases that were there. Interesting report. Like I said, we're going to catch up with him sometime this week, get his report. So, all right, let's go on to the rewards of the week. We do it every week. If you're new to the show, we give out the weekly awards for things that caught our eye. We put them into categories. And this is how we do it on the Sunday Night Talk. Speaking of the Sunday Night Talk, actually, speaking of me, I have a show. Tuesday. I'm at the Laugh Factory here in Chicago, Tuesday night, 9:30. Come check it out. Stand-up show, comedy. I haven't been there in a while, so that'll be good. Check it out. Let me know you're coming. All right, let's go to the awards. First one of the week for Week 10. Most memorable moments. Not a big standout this week, so I went with the New England Patriots and the walk-off that was them beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on their field. Just that moment, walking off the field with the win. They're the best team in their division by a far amount. 2 games now, and now we got to talk about them. Best team in the league. I mean, mark your calendars or mark your iPhones. Make notes. Monday morning, First Take, Get Up, Sports Center, Stephen A. Are the New England Patriots the best team in the league? Like, we're such idiots when it comes to lead storylines. It's like, we just, who won? Are they the best team in the league? Who won? Are they the best team in the league? And we just recycle it over and over and over again. Sure, it's worth talking about, but the New England Patriots look really good. Really, really good. And the answer to are they the best team in the league is like, well, they were the best team this week. The season continues. We have playoffs, we have seedings, we have home fields, we have weather to consist. We'll find out. It's just such a tired storyline. Are they the best team in the league? That's my most memorable moment, though. A New England win. A big win. Next award. Cringeworthy moment of the week. Multiple nominees for this award. We got Jacksonville and Houston. Jacksonville allowing 20-plus points in the fourth quarter alone. That's pretty bad. Why do I feel like I've given that award to Jacksonville in the past? How about Mike Tomlin's beard? It's looking very scraggly and old man-like. He used to have a really confident, pronounced beard. Now the gray hairs are poking through. It needs a trim. Trim the beard, Mike Tomlin. Next cringeworthy moment. How about a kickoff out of bounds? I think there were 2 of them today. This goes under the category of you had one job. The kicker, all you got to do is kick. They kick it out of bounds. Goes out of bounds, or one was short of the landing zone. So that's very cringeworthy. How many playoff games have we watched where a kickoff out of bounds gives the other team a great drive? Next cringeworthy nominee. How about getting a false start penalty because you can't hear and you're at home? I forgot what game this was at, but like you're at home, you're getting false start penalties. That's really bad. I'm going to give the award to the Jacksonville Jaguars for allowing so many points in just the fourth quarter when I thought the game was over. Next award, Best Innovation Award. I give it to LA and the Celebrity Cam. There's really only one city that can get away with attempting the Celebrity Cam, and it's LA. Especially on a Sunday night premiere primetime game. They showed like Bo Derek, Reggie Miller. Who else did they have in there? Gee, just some LA celebs. Maybe you could say a little bit on the lighter side. Like celebs are got to build back up. They came out for the Dodgers. Now I got to build back up and have someone to root for, and it's the Chargers. If the Chargers get hot and the Rams get hot, celebrities are coming out of the woodwork. Celebrities only come out when the team's good. So that'll be fun. I can't wait to see some more celebs. Next award, Hot Take Award of the Week. This one's kind of hot. I don't know if you're going to like it. I don't know if I'm going to like it. But my hot take for the week is sometime soon, maybe in a year, I think we're going to have an overseas playoff game. It's going that direction. We had the Berlin game today. Next week, we've got a Madrid game. This is where it's trending, an overseas playoff game. It's going to happen. I don't know how they can work it, but I see it does not seem that outlandish to me. Last year, 5 years ago, I would say that's insane. Now I can see it happening. Overseas playoff game. And I'm okay with it. I would say let's go London. We've punished you for so many years with sending our Jacksonville Jaguars over there. Let's give you a playoff game. Hot take. Next award, Casting Couch Award. This one surprised me. A couple commercials for this. There was a commercial for a movie called Sideline 2, and it's on Tubi, exclusively on Tubi. Tubi has become this generation's USA Network, where it's free, it's the equivalent of cable TV, and you're like, oh, what movies? Where's that movie? It's on Tubi. Oh, it is? Oh, I think I like that movie. I'll watch it. Oh, I haven't seen that movie in a million years. What's it on? Tubi. Oh, I'll watch it. I'll take a look at that. Tubi is this generation's deep cable. So this commercial comes on called Sideline 2 about a USC quarterback, and there's some drama going on with him. By the way, he looks like he's 140 pounds. There's no way this guy would be a D1 anything. But I think I need to watch this. So now I had the thought, maybe we need a remake of something like Necessary Roughness or The Last Boy Scout or The Program. That's something that could go a little bit on the gritty side, and it's going to go on Tubi. It's going to go on deep cable. Maybe a season worth, a couple seasons worth, and all of a sudden someone's like, hey, you ever seen such and such? Like, I never heard of that. Oh, it's on Tubi. So I thought that could be a show that is worthy of this week. Something on deep cable. Maybe a drama. Don't you see that happening? Throw in some gambling. I'm into gambling now. That would be good. I'd watch that. Next award, Best Quote. And we got Chris Collinsworth was having some fun tonight. On the hurdle, which injected some life into the broadcast and the game, which was at a perfect time, too, because there was the hurdle, the guy tore his shirt, there was a timeout after it, so we got to watch maybe about 3 minutes worth of the hurdle, all the different angles of hurdle. And there's one point where he hurdles and Chris Collins was like, oh, he must have been in track. That guy was in track, Mike, for sure. But he jumps over the guy, just straddles him basically. And then Collinsworth goes, there's an element of danger to that play. And Tirico kind of chuckles, but I think Collinsworth talking about potentially getting hit in the balls by someone's helmet by jumping over someone. That's kind of what he insinuated there. And Tirico got a little laugh out of it. They were having some fun tonight, those two. I think that's the best broadcast of the whole NFL slate because they had the most fun. It's kind of silly. Like every broadcast has to have an element of silliness, which Tom Brady's getting the hint of week by week. On the flip side, the Troy Aikman and Joe Buck one is like the button-down broadcast. It's a lot of scheme, X's and O's, professionalism. The Sunday night one's more fun. A few more laughs in that one. All right, next award. This is the Play Call Award for the week, and I gave it to New England running back, where it's a critical 3rd and 3 or 4. Tampa Bay had to get the stop to get the ball back for any chance to come back and win this game. New England not only gets that first down, the running back breaks the run, and as he's running to the end zone, he is looking at the sideline to see if they want to tell him to just go down so they can run more clock or score. It's funny how these running backs know what the situation is now. Like, should I just fall down and then we'll just run clock? So he's looking at the sideline. I don't know what the sideline would have signaled to him, like touchdown or fall down. I don't know what it would be. But I thought that was the play call of the week, was the look to the sideline, see if you should go down or score a touchdown. Last award, who won the week? I gave it to Mike Vrabel. This was a big week for the Patriots. We got big lead in the division, big win on the road, big win for the quarterback playing well, big win for the offense playing well, big win for the defense, putting a harness on Baker Mayfield today. We got Robert Kraft in the owner's box with his shirt untucked, with Dave Portnoy, New England all the way around. And now the pressure's on. It's like, can they keep this momentum going? So those were the awards for this week in the NFL. That brings us to one more game because Week 10 is not over until Monday night. That's right, Monday Night Football. Now, special Monday night this week because as I've said on a few previous week shows, I really want to be a sports gambler. And I'm well versed in knowing that I'm not going to be good at this. So I've been doing some practice betting so far, and I've kind of broken even on all of them. I as far as I can understand, I know the point spread, I know the over-under, so that's what I usually bet. So I got one more practice bet tomorrow night, and then it's time to put my money where my mouth is. So tomorrow night we got Philly at Green Bay. Good one. Green Bay needs to rebound. Philly, we all want to see them lose, at least I do for some reason. But Philly goes on the road to Green Bay. Philly's giving 1.5 points. So I'm going to take Green Bay with the points. And the over-under is 45.5. I'm going to go the under. So I got Green Bay with the points. And I got the under at 45.5 is the last of my practice bets because the real deal is happening next week. I will place an NFL bet. On the flip side, Green Bay's got to get back on track tomorrow. They really do. We need to see it, Green Bay. You need to string some wins together. I have a feeling they're going to make the playoffs, but I'm also worried that I don't think they can. I don't think they can beat the better NFC teams. A lot of season left to go. Is Green Bay the worst team of the playoff teams in the NFL? Be my first take headline. Just whatever clickbaity headline you can think of. That's what you do for these types of shows now. It's right up there with interesting thumbnails on YouTube. Did the Green Bay Packers ruin their season? Is Baker Mayfield secretly in the mob's pocket? Proof the moon landing was faked. And then your video can be about whatever you want. It doesn't have to be about the title. just put the headline on there. Maybe that's how I'm going to title this week's Sunday Night Talk. Is the moon landing fake? Was there a second shooter? That's what I'm going to do. All right, everybody. This was the Sunday Night Talk for week 10 in the NFL. Solo, we're checking in with Omar Carmona later in the week. I have a show Tuesday night at the Laugh Factory here in Chicago. If you're new to the channel, give it a like, give it a subscribe. I appreciate it. Check out my other videos on the channel. For me, Patrick Ramirez, for the Sunday Night Talk, for the NFL, for everything that happened today, for Las Vegas Raiders. Hopefully get it together. Thank you, everybody, and I will see you all next week. Have a good night, everybody.